All right, day 60, Lockdown Golf Podcast. Guys, we did it. We did it. We did it. Chris said, man, I wish we could get the Muni Kids guys to sponsor this show. That's the sponsor I want more than anyone. And God damn it, they're here. Max Reinland, Drew Reinland of Muni Kids and Reinland Golf Co. and any other cool things they're doing that I don't even know about because that's what they do. Welcome to the show. Good to have you guys.
Yeah, welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
First and foremost, thank you. This is very exciting for me. Probably thinking of who we've had on the show, easily the coolest people we had.
Oh, that's
blush.
by far.
Like, look, I mean, between already starting and between Drew's magical beard and then just Max's general like chill vibe, I'm just we've just had golf dorks on this show, you know.
It's true.
Now we got these guys. Guys, what's up? Tell us about life in Portland now. Tell us about Muni Kids life. Don't tell us whatever. Just let's hear what's going on in your world.
Oh, this week we just dropped our Mac Miller drop. So we've been working on like tie-dye and t-shirts, getting head covers ready, getting mom on top of what she's doing. And I mean, Portland life's been, it's been interesting of late, just with the virus and navigating our business and whatnot. But overall, I mean, it's been pretty good. We're like looking forward to like summertime where we actually get to like do like urban golf again and gather people together. And we're hoping to put together like a gang sum this summer, like in Portland for like all the, just for like a bunch of guys looking for a cash game. So
that's right up mine and Chris's alley right there. Bucks.
We're like diving into like getting to play more finally. Like
yeah,
year and a half like was so busy with opening the shop that it's just like it feels like we haven't even like touched clubs in like a year. Like real
forget your golfers almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's weird. Like we played the last couple weeks like once a week, and we like progressively like playing better. We're both like starting. You can see we're like starting to get competitive with one another out on the court.
That would crack me up, especially like you guys are both pretty. Well, Max, you're a self-proclaimed chatterbox, but I mean, you're also both kind of quiet. So the thought of you two all of a sudden like sparking up and getting competitive is hilarious to me.
It's funny because it's just like we have two different like we couldn't be like the more opposite players like golfers. Like Drew hits it long and all over the place. Like I hit it short and straight. Like our like talking. He's more aggressive when he's talking shit. Like he's a lot.
Drew's the mean one.
Yeah. I'm more of the Steph Curry smile at you and talk shit. So
Drew was the one. God, I had it too, but I think I mentioned to you. I've worn I wear my Muni Kids shirts into the ground, and so therefore I can't remember what was on it. But the long hitters in the tree shirt. What did it say?
Just full of big hitters.
Yeah, that was Drew's shirt, right?
Your shirt. I don't even own one.
Yeah, I mean, well, what's that swing speed at now? Getting the driver up like 100 miles an hour now?
Actually, I've been like lately, I've been hitting nice. I've like Drew fixed a couple of things in my swing, and I'm up over 100. Like, I'm up to where like I could start shooting under par. Like,
yeah, me too. I just need to get that driver under control a little bit. That's all. Wedge yips are almost fixed. I'm breaking pars soon. It's no problem.
Went through a big thing though, where I've been guilting Drew into playing the white tees. Stupid. Like we're going out with buddies that are anywhere from like scratch golfers to like 15 handicaps. I'm like, just because you're a pro doesn't mean we have to like step it all the way back to 6,400 yards when we could play it at 6,100 yards. Like,
That's what Chris and I were talking about that the other day. We're like, Chris was like, I do it by distance. I go, Chris, we're terrible. Like, no tee is too good for us. You can put us up at the junior tees. We can shoot 1 million. It's no problem.
I look at it as the closer, like for me, like I can still play enough that like I can shoot under par. So it's like the easier it is for me to shoot under par, like the better my day will be. Just that's my everything. Like I had no shame. Like the course is 5,800 yards, and I shot under par. That's all that matters to me. That day, right?
No, I'd rather be like 7,200. Everybody can be as miserable as me.
There's a certain bit of that. It's like, whoa. I'm going to be miserable either way. So let's just go all the way back. Misery loves company.
That's what he thinks.
It's like 6,000. You're like, it don't matter.
Drew, how's your game coming around and looking? Because as I do know from your brother bragging about you, which he does do, you can play it. You can play pretty well. How's your game looking prior to all the lockdown shit?
Prior to, very much prior to. So it's looking better now.
Yeah, his game
is trending nice. In the right direction.
We played a ton of simulator golf like during the quarantine because we just like ship packages and then try to figure out what to do with the rest of our day. So we just play on the sim here in the shop. Like we played more rounds while the shop's closed than we have like during it when it was open.
I have so much resentment toward you now. Like, man, that'd be so good. I'd kill for that life. I mean, I love my kids and all. It's not alternate universe kind of a thing, but man, just be like, hey, get some work done. Maybe have a few too many adult sodas and see where the simulator takes us.
Oh, it takes us to the moon sometimes.
Well, I have the go to the moon part. I don't have access to a simulator though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I've got half the equation, I guess.
Doesn't quite. Yeah, your two simulators are like shut down indefinitely. Chris is like the ultimate get up before work. What I already forgot the name. It's been some 5-iron golf. Is that it?
Yeah, 5-iron. Yeah.
There's this place right down the street from like cool, trendy indoor bar simulator place, and Chris is there every morning before work, and now he's like, oh, I forgot I even went there.
It's true, man. God, that was so long ago. That was February when I was doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was forever.
I wonder. I didn't think we'd step in these waters, but I wonder how they're gonna do because even when things start opening back up, that's not.
Yeah, they just announced. I got an email today. They're gonna open up June 8th, but like they're in it's a huge space, but it's a basement. Okay. So it's not like, the airflow is great in there. So I don't know. And they have a bunch of restrictions, no food or drinks or whatever, but it's basically just a simulator area now. But yeah, I don't know.
Don't they have like multiple shops like around the country?
Yeah.
Something in like New York also.
Yeah. Their first one was in New York, and then they just opened a bunch like Baltimore, Chicago, Philadelphia, I think, a couple other ones.
Hey, so this just popped in my head talking about stuff, your brand around the world, and let's just say around the country to make it simple. But you guys do sell into some small shops and courses and do like custom orders and stuff right now. How's that been during all this?
Well, to be honest, we like pulled out a lot of our wholesale business this like past year, just like kind of from both sides of the companies, just in the like, I don't know, we kind of learned in the last year, especially since we moved to Portland, like some of our like, I don't know, what I would deem our cooler drops, like they do really well online, that it's like, we can't do those kind of drops all the time because of like all the other business that we have going.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Covers for courses or for events. And so like this year we kind of like, we all sat down and kind of like was like, we're going to roll more of the dice on like our projects, like kind of putting our things first versus like doing the traditional business model of that. So like last year, like when we had like the flood and we just had kind of like a regroup of like how we were going to go about things. Like we invested into like screen printing and like doing our own screen printing versus like having a shop do it, where it's like you got to do specific numbers. Like, so like the idea would be like we can drop like new t-shirts anytime, but we could also like when we get really cool like shops around the country, like we can give them like a completely like custom collection that's like that's like to their shop, to their regional culture, but with like our values, I guess, into it. But it's something that we're not selling online.
Mm-hmm.
So like, even if they're an online retailer, it just kind of like will help spread our product out. So like, honestly, we weren't really like pushing that hard for that this year. So like the virus really didn't affect us because we've like pulled out of a lot of that kind of
right.
business. But I mean, it definitely affects like who we're hitting up, like, you know, earlier in the year, like, because some places aren't even going to have the shops open for a while. Like, I don't think like the pro shops will be like opening in Washington for like a second. So,
Chris, did you catch that? They can do screen printing if we need shirts. That's what I heard.
Yeah, good to know.
The flood is a fascinating story. If you wouldn't mind, tell the good people, all 5 of them that might listen to this or watch it. We've talked about that a billion times since it's happened, you and me, and it's still like, well, I guess I can see we can laugh about it now because you guys have come out of it all right, but at the time this wouldn't have been as funny. But like, it's like you can't make this up. Kind of a funny story. It's not funny. I don't mean to diminish it. But tell the flood story, and start with like how long you guys had been in the new shop before that happened.
Oh, like we'd been in the shop for like maybe 3 months, like, but like when the flood happened, like the room that flooded was like a stock room that was in the basement, and we literally had that for a week. Like we had just decided like the shop's not big enough to like house like all the product for like online shipping. So we like went to the building and like got a spot in the basement, and they like built us like this whole custom thing. Like we just like the stuff had to be down there like less than 7 days. Like and the main valve break like burst down there, and they think it was like 60,000 pounds of water like rushed through that room. Like it busted.
Oh my God.
It like busted 12, a hole from the wall and like shot water from the ceiling and like filled the room up. And then it was like crazy because like I don't even know how like up to code all that was down there, like as far as like the building, but it was like we couldn't go down there for like 2 or 3 weeks till it like drained out because it was like electricity and stuff down there. So it was.
How many days was it? Wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't like it's just an overnight thing. I mean, it was a number of days, wasn't it? That it was pumping water before someone caught it.
Yeah, before they could get down there, it was like a good. I think it was like 9 hours that it pumped water, and then it just sat still for a few days, and then they like finally started getting like machines to like drain it out, and then it had to like sit out for a week.
But there was like water coming from the ceilings and cords and shit everywhere. Down there trying not to get.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, like by the time we got to the clothing, I mean, you could already like see stuff growing on it. Like it was just like it was terrible.
I said they should have sold it as limited edition gear. Like, man, this mold was from the Great Flood of 2019. Upcharge it. I would have paid for it. It would have been like, hell yeah. I got one of the mold shirts. So you came out of that, and at the time you guys had, I'm hesitant to call it a business partner, a guy you guys were doing the shop with, right? And that was, sort of like the make or break time and what was going to happen next. So take us from the flood being, I mean, you said a bunch of stuff was growing. Let's go back. Out of all the stuff that was in there that got destroyed, what percentage of it was salvageable, do you think?
Oh, none of it.
0.
None of it. Okay.
Nothing. There was like, I mean, we had some like golf grips and like things that were like rubber that could like handle water, I guess. like some tools and stuff that were down there. But like as far as like the t-shirts, posters, like towels,
the
like
boxes were ripped.
yeah, like boxes
shredded.
like shredded. Yeah, I mean it looked like a tidal wave came through there, like the amount of water, like, and I mean it was bad. Like our partner at the time, like I don't even want to think about how much money in like pants he had in there, like from like a new company he was working with. Like he had just gotten like a huge shipment in, and it was like all that was like washed out. Like,
so this was kind of, let's face it, this was make or break's not the right word, but this could have been a, you know, dead before it even started kind of a moment. Take us through now moving forward and how the landscape changed and how you guys made a go of it.
honestly, like it was weird. Like the flood like never, like I don't know, like I never felt like the flood like ended our business or was like going to be like maybe even as challenging as it was to like kind of get out of that situation. But like I mean, like coronavirus was like way scarier to me, and that wasn't even an issue. Like that ended up like not even really being an issue. Like we did really well like during those times. But the flood, like it just changed like the landscape of things because like we like our partner with the shop, we like that kind of like ended that partnership, which like in our heart, like it was like a good thing, like because we knew
for the best.
like we knew it was for the best for like what we wanted to do with the shop. So like the beauty of the flood time was like we really didn't know, we just didn't like go back in and invest into like clothing, I guess, and we just kind of like invested more of our energy into the head covers and then just like building like what our shop culture would be. Because like I never really felt like before the flood the shop was never really open.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just was like it was open,
more of like an office vibe.
Yeah, just like an office vibe. It wasn't like a shop, and that was part of like I think the blessing of the shop splitting up. Like with our partner was like I think we had like a little misunderstanding of that from the beginning. Like we wanted like our own like golf skate shop and he just wasn't like wanting it that way. So.
I was gonna say it reminds me of when I see your guys' stuff on like Instagram or whatever. It reminds me of a tattoo shop or a skate shop. Like that's exactly the vibe that I get just watching some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean the shop's cool because what the shop allows us to do is it allows us to grow the game, which like as like good players or like players that have like a background in that, I feel like that got lost even before we like came to Portland. We were like doing really good with Muni kids, but I don't feel like until we moved to Portland and had the shop that it really like showcased that like we've like played, like we're not just like guys drinking beer and like smoking weed playing the weekend like round. Like
what's wrong with those guys?
Yeah.
What we can offer, like we're a brand for sure, but like we can offer like golf to people. Like we can offer like what we've learned from like a lifetime of like being competitive golfers, we've both been college golf coaches, like we've both been teaching professionals, like full-time teaching professionals. So it's like the shop's cool because it's like a completely different vibe than almost anything else, where like people who aren't playing golf or like aren't playing golf more than like once or twice a year, like they either stumble into here with like friends or something else, and it's like we can help them with golf, like because the shop has like all the things a golf shop would have, but like it's just different. It's just like a different scene. It's not as like bougie or
to that, that's a good point to maybe talk about, I don't know, the neighborhood golf coach.
The golf pro. Neighborhood golf pro.
Golf pro, sorry. God. And it's like I know you guys. That's embarrassing. Talk about it. Talk about the neighborhood golf pro. Tell me about how that works. And I mean, even that, like to that point, I guess I kind of remember going to a skate shop as a kid, and there was that guy who worked there who, was like sick as hell at skating. And he'd be like, listen, let me help you add a deck to your ollie.
I mean, it's definitely a tight thing with our shop that you can come in and just like actually get real help at golf and not have like that super stuck up or like tight feeling when you're getting it.
Yeah.
I guess where it's just like everybody's kicking it, but there's also good golf instruction involved with it where you can just actually do it.
And it's like a thing like from like where we're kind of going with the neighborhood golf pros is like we're definitely going to like have more like video like instruction type of things. Like we're actually planning a show, like almost like we're doing like a playing lessons in the hood, like the Golf Channel show.
Yeah,
but like it'll be like somebody doing like a 9-hole thing with Drew, like where Drew kind of helps them with their swing, because it's like even in the urban golf you like come across like all the same shots, I guess, per se, that you would hit on like a regular course, or like different kinds of trouble. So it's like he'll be able to help with that. But I think the neighborhood golf pro is like cool because it's like when customers come in the shop, like people like almost always leave with like getting free golf lesson of some kind, like even if it's like for 10 or 15 minutes or, so it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's cool because it like, if they want to like expand on that, they can get like paid lessons and like schedule time and like have like that more traditional, but it's not traditional in the sense that you're like listening to Mac Miller albums or
right.
Oh, like what's going on, why it's doing it. And I mean, even it's been cool to see like people like we'll have like customers who like sit in and watch people's lessons, like where everybody's just like friends and customers, like everybody's just hanging out watching somebody get a golf lesson, which is like cool because I think that's nerve-wracking to a lot of people, and then they see that it's like not.
Well, it's so counter golf culture. It starts like, no, it's my private lesson and take me to the far end of the driving range where no one's going to bother us. So to be in the element where like, nah, man, we're just hitting balls and, it just so happens this person's actually getting a lesson. And let's face it, if you're comfortable in that scenario with someone sitting on a couch staring at you while you're being taught how to not be terrible, right? You're going to have a much stronger mental game than you might otherwise.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. And it's just like when it's more interactive like that, it's just like, I'll be like shipping packages or something and Drew will have a lesson and I'll like come out and I'll like interject on his lesson and like, it's, you know what I mean? Like my opinion or like whatever.
And Drew's like, excuse me, don't stop an artist at work. How dare you?
Well, I think
we have two like totally different perspectives on the game, and we're both, like decent at it. So it's always helpful because we had that when we coached college golf. Half the team like didn't really gel with me, and half of them just like worked way better with Max for that reason. So.
I believe that. Totally believe it.
He knows the golf swing, like he knows like the mechanics, the science of it. And I think it's just like, it comes down to like even me being like the chattier one. It's just like, he might be giving like them the correct information, but they're not like understanding how to take it in. And like, sometimes that's like where I can help.
That's, I think, one of the most and I've tried to explain this to people all the time. And it's funny because the people who have this problem don't get it. It's like, you could have all this, and Drew, I'm not saying you do this. You could have all the swing knowledge in the world, but if you can't put it in a way that someone is going to understand it and be able to put it into motion, it's virtually useless. And it's easy for me to say, like, you aren't saying it in a way I get, but you might have, like, the average pro might have 15 lessons that day, and each person has a different ability to absorb and understand things. So, yeah, being able to adapt to an individual, and that's not easy.
No, it's definitely challenging, but that's what's tight about our shop is you just kind of have that healthy mix. And back before where we were at, I was giving like 1,400 lessons, but we kind of had like a similar like vibe around it where people were always kind of kicking it around the lessons. And I like good players to interject because it helps everyone.
Right. You keep referring to the you've mentioned multiple times this Mac Miller drop. We talked about high level talked about the sneaker head cover drop. Can you guys tell us more about those things in detail?
Like the Mac Miller drop is like this time around we did a t-shirt, a poster, and a head cover. And so the head cover is like all like Drew did all the graphics for all of this for this project. So like the Mac Miller that's on the head cover, like on the lotus flower, is Drew that.
Wow.
And so all the pieces, all the tie-dye pieces, like we tie-dyed them all in our art studio, and so they're all like unique. They're all unique pieces, and I mean it's Mac. It's funny, like we joke, like no, like literally a day doesn't go by that we don't listen to like at least one Mac Miller album, like in the shop or like even when we were living in Lewiston at the range, like. And it just kind of stems back from like even Drew, like Mac Miller was huge, like when Drew was just going to college. And so it's
right around the same age.
Yeah. So it's just like, it was a cool, like we did a tribute head cover for him last year. And that one was probably our favorite one that we did because like, it was amazing to hear like the interaction with our like customers and like people who follow Muni Kids, like, to hear like their like what Mac Miller meant to them, you know, because it's just like I know for like me and Drew, like I think we're both like we're more emotional than not emotional. So I think it's like the Mac Miller stuff, like, or at least his albums, like I think different ones kind of like speak to us in different moods. So it's weird. Even like living together, like when Drew, like I'll hear a Mac Miller album in Drew's room being played, and I can tell what kind of mood he's in, like just based off of like, the album. Like, so that one's like, I mean, and it's like Muni Kids was like really made in the Mac Miller era. Like that's kind of when the idea was derived. And we've been like talking about doing like the kids album, like into a Muni Kids graphic forever. And it just like, I don't know. It just like never felt right until we like actually like we're gonna tie-dye them and print them ourselves. So
I have a handful of things on top of that. One of the most profound statements ever said on the show is we're more emotional than not emotional. It's very profound. The tie-dye shirt is sick as hell. That shirt is awesome. I'm gonna wear one of those things into the ground. Like it's gonna disintegrate. And then my first exposure to Mac Miller was courtesy of, and I can't even remember what year it was. I don't remember which Winter Classic it was, but it was HBO doing the 24/7 documentaries they would do for the NHL's Winter Classic, and the Philadelphia Flyers used Knock Knock for their win song after their games. And I was like, what is this? This is dirty. It was so good.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
My kids introduced me to Mac Miller. God bless them. They've introduced me to Chance, and they played the Stoney album for me. They introduced me to Mac Miller. They've like.
So Chris is the hip old man of the group, and it's good though, because like I'm in this weird purgatory where I'm not cool anymore. Like I can't be. I'm like Chris's kids are old enough to teach him cool things and get him up to speed. My kids are so young, and that's all I do is I work and raise my kids, right? So I need that from Chris to kind of bring me up to speed on how to be the cool guy again. Because I don't have a chance. I got a mohawk.
God help you, man, if you're relying on me for that.
Yeah, no shit. What's that?
I like the new haircut.
Yeah, I went for it. So look, I can't get away with this normally, so might as well do it. It looks a little moldy on screen here, but Chris has seen it in person. I promise you it's not. And I told my wife, I've decided to, I don't know, this is years of teenage angst that never got out, but it's like until my daughter goes to me, hey, Dad, you're too old and you're lame. You can't have that haircut. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to ride it. Just be like, I'll be that guy walking in the office, be like, yep, no big deal. I got this big, giant, spiky mohawk coming at the top of my head. I mean, it worked on the golf course.
Why not?
I mean, it's what? I guess Ian Poulter used to do it. Might as well. I do enough things because he did it. So
it was kind of the perfect course to do that. I mean, Water's Edge is kind of like, kind of southwest side, sort of right outside the city. It's a good spot to do that.
You can get away with it there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a round of golf that was. Here's something you should talk about. All right, so we've talked a lot about Muni Kids. Explain the difference between Muni Kids and Reinland Golf Co.
Yeah, I would say the best way is like Reinland Golf Co. is just like it's the cut and sew side of our business, and we just like offer head covers and like anywhere from like traditional patterns to the tie-dye patterns, and it's not necessarily like we kind of like curate that, I guess, more so for just like the general, just for like general public, I guess, or it's not like it's just made for everybody, where Muni Kids is like more our creative expression, like as a brand.
More of a culture.
Yeah. So it's like anything that you're seeing pumped out of Muni Kids, like it has meaning to like probably both of us, like in some way, like, or it's something that we directly would want, like on our bag. Like the El Jefe head covers, like that's like Drew, like Drew was like obsessed with that, like from the beginning. So it was just like that one's on there. Like that's kind of the main differences. Like in Rhineland's just head covers.
Chris, this would be, well, hang on. All right. First off, how dare you of all people say Rhineland's just head covers? It's not.
Well, it's valuable bags and shoe bags, but I mean, it's cut and sew.
Accessories.
And it's not
Thank you, Drew. Thank you.
Well, the problem is like we never I never meant for it to necessarily happen, but the Muni Kids head covers are so popular that I think like sometimes like people, like I always look at Muni Kids as like a clothing brand first, where like a lot of people don't, especially in the last like year or so, because like there was no clothing for a long time.
Right.
With the flood and whatnot. So it's like, I always look at it's like when I say just head cover brand, I mean, it's just like, it's not our clothing brand. We're like Muni Kids, I always look at as more like an art brand or a streetwear label. Before I go back back attacking Max here, Chris, make sure in the video when he talks about the El Jefe cover, you put a picture of the El Jefe cover in.
All right, I can do that.
That's a production note.
Fair enough. Live production meeting.
Let's go back. Oh, it's just head covers. Let's talk about the heart and soul of Rhineland Golf Co. And I hope she doesn't listen to this or watch it after you're saying it's just head covers. Mama Stitch, can we talk about her a little bit?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Tell us about her involvement and why she's the best, because she is.
Well, she's the MVP of the team. Like she's making a lot of head covers.
Drew, tell us about your mom and her involvement in the business, because Max is not giving us what we need here.
Well, I mean, basically, she's our like lead seamstress, so to speak, I guess you would call it. And she's the head, like maybe we have a couple aunts working for us and a couple cousins as well. And so she's in charge of that team as far as what they need to have delegated out to get back to her to basically finish off the head covers or put like the end product together.
And she's our accountant, and she pretty much does everything for us.
She's the grown up of the business. Someone's got to do it, right? She's the best. I was going to try to get you guys to call her on this and be like, Stitch, I just wanted to hear your voice. I've never heard it. You're the best. Chris, I will literally say, like, I on occasion I've put a munikids.com or Rhineland Golf Co. I think it's .com, right? Yeah. Order in, and I'm like, I'll put it like in the notes or comments, like, can I get a handwritten note from Stitch or what? God damn it. It happens. They deliver.
That's awesome.
We're really, it's like, it's cool, like, because we have like a little reflection, especially like me and her, we have little reflection moments because she's been like helping me from the beginning. And it's like, it's crazy when you think about like how many head covers are out there and just like the amount of work she's like done on it, that it's cool. Like she takes pride in it too, you know?
Let's go back to the beginning. So if I remember correctly, when this all started, you guys kind of together went, hey, she's like, I could sew head covers like this. I could do this.
Well, like I knew she could sew because, like, I mean, the idea of sewing, and I've never really told anybody this, but the idea of sewing our own head covers, like when people ask what the inspiration was, because like people like make assumptions at what they think the inspiration behind our head covers are from or what. But it's like actually the like mom was making them for like making tigers like tiger head covers. Like like a new tiger head cover every year. So like when we were little, like I'd always like get my mom, like I have some like corny ones that my mom sewed up over the years. They were just like I never thought of it as like a business thing, but like I'd known she like had the capability of like sewing to that extent. And so it was just kind of like doing the first head covers. It was just like making, like, we probably made like 50 or 60 of them, me and her, like just sitting there till we like got the shape that we like, that was like on the money. And like,
now, did you know how to sew too? Because like now you can whip up the head covers yourself. You know how to do it now.
Yes. And it's like, we didn't know how, like had no idea, like no background in it. Like, so it was just like mom's been like the MVP of like the whole thing, like as far as that side of our business goes. I mean, we talk to her every day, so like I'm on the phone with her 24/7. So it's definitely like interesting for all of us, like to have that kind of relationship too, where we like all get to talk to each other every day, and we all drive each other crazy. Like we fight with mom like every single day, like about something.
Somehow I'm not surprised, and she's obviously right. So let's just acknowledge that here, that she's right.
Well, the crazy part is like our business is like, you guys kind of touched on it on like one of your last podcasts. We're just talking about how different our business is like our business is super different, and we like the blueprint. There isn't really a blueprint to what we're doing. So it's like each month and each drop and each, like the plan like is just like evolving, like as we're going, and we're like kind of learning as we go. So there's just like, there's always like little hiccups, like when we're all like arguing over, I guess, where we go from here, or like mom's like the best, like she's the best employee, but like, you know, it's just like with her, it's like sometimes it can be like explaining to her that like, you know, just because we've been doing something this way, like we're changing it up now, like because we're going a different direction. So it's just always like, it's always interesting, like that part of it, like as the family of just looking at it. But she's like when the flood hit, like she was the one that like never even allowed like the idea that it was like gonna die, like, you know, that was gonna be devastating, like. And so I think like just being that she's like our mom, you know, like you kind of feed off that. So she was like huge in that. And then when like the coronavirus hit and all the COVID-19 and the shutdowns, like, I mean, I was like super panicky, and she's like always the one, and she's like super positive. And I know she wouldn't be that way, like if she didn't think it was like going to be all good. So she's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. She's just kind of our sensei on the whole thing.
She's my favorite Reinland she's my favorite Reinland, period. She's my favorite Reinland Golf Co. / Muni Kids employee too. Like you see, like she'll like, Chris, to give you reference, you'll just like, maybe I post like some At Range Heroes thing about them, and then seeing her just like the sweetest ever little like comments, just sort of supportive of her kids, supportive of her own brands, what we're doing, whatever. And you're like, man, Mama Stitch is the best.
It's pretty awesome.
She is. She's like, no, she is. It's like,
what do we have to do to get you guys to post some of these classic head covers from when you were kids?
We'd have to find some of them.
You're horrible sons.
No, the problem is we're like we were like golf club hoes and like just played too much when we were kids. Like, so it's like all of them, like a lot of them just got ran into the ground, like ripped up and like.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about reproducing your ones from when you were a kid? Like trying like to remember them in your mind's eye and then making them?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, a couple of them. Like I know one of them that I can like specifically remember that like I can't like remember what the fabric exactly was, but I know like I know it was like a basic like cartoon, almost like kind of print, like newspaper cartoon, golf print. And if I don't know, we might do something like that to like kind of tribute that one at some point.
Max is like, God damn it. Bill's going to like harp on me for the next year about this and just constantly, when are you going to do that cover? When are you going to do that cover?
Well, and it's funny because it like had I remember this one, like the corniest part of this one is that I don't know what it was made out of, but like there was like a sleeve to it. Like we had like the barrel covers. It was like almost like an old Titleist that had like the neck, like spiral or whatever. It was like that kind of head cover, but it wasn't like, it was made out of like maybe like a long sleeve shirt or something like type of it's like just like but like super innovative too at the same time for like, because I mean back it was like she wasn't like a seamstress. It was just like just pull out her grandma's sewing machine and like kind of put something together for us.
Dial it up.
I say your friends are busting your chops about like your busted ass head cover that your mommy made you for whatever reason, and you're like, you'll see one day, I'll show you, and oh, look what happened.
No, we were so competitive that it would have just been like if they were talking shit, we would have just like been talking right back. So
and then burying them even worse.
Was that the only thing your mom sewed, or did she make you guys clothes or anything too?
No, just that.
Okay. My mom made us clothes, which was just brutal.
No, I can't
just
remember.
Brutal.
I'm biting my tongue so bad, Chris.
Oh, I will show you. I'm not at this point. I don't give a shit anymore. But like my mom would make my two brothers and I the same. She would buy just like yards of the same fabric, make some shirts and shorts, and then she would put us in the Sears photography studio.
Oh my God.
Be like, boom, we'll send that to everybody we know. That was my childhood.
Chris, I'd make fun of you too much. I'm sorry.
Well, I can tell you why, Bill. If you can make fun of me first, and I can tell you why after, or I can tell you why now if you want me to.
No, I don't want to.
I mean,
I don't want to. I don't want to.
You had no money, man.
I respect that part of it. I do. It's the Sears photo shoot part that's the comedy in it. And this is what I mean.
Pictures yet?
I know.
Pictures yet?
I don't. I'm trying to be better to you. I'm trying to be nicer. And they're like, wait, hang on. There's reasons, and I'm sorry. I have two more things. We talked about the Mac Miller drop. Talk about, in case we have any that are still with us at this point, and amongst our 5-6 people. Tell me about this sneaker drop you're doing. And I want to talk about the comment that I replied to where guys like, who did it first? Where I was ready to jump through the computer and kill the guy.
Oh, I knew. I was to address the comment, yeah, that had me laughing. I was like rolling when you wrote that. But I was like, how does he expect me to respond?
Yeah, right. Oh, you're right. Someone else has done something like this before, because golf.
Well, and it's like, the funny part. The funny part is that it's like, honestly, I don't think either one of us really pay attention to what any golf company is doing.
I like
right now. Like, there's maybe like a couple out there, but so like until he like pointed out that there was like another company making an elephant print head cover. I was like completely unaware.
All right, so talk about the 3 prints you're doing and just pitch them, I guess.
Yeah, so we're doing the elephant print. Well, I guess to go back, like the Vance checkerboard print has always been like one of our like top selling like head covers. Like that's my favorite. I wear
Most
like,
beautiful thing I've ever seen.
I wear like the Vance checkerboard shoes like 360 days a year.
So you did the Vans wouldn't have been around, but just minding my own business the other day, scrolling through my phone, you know what that is. And what do I see? And I didn't even see it was from you first. I just saw like a barrel head cover of actually, I think the one I saw first was a Galaxy print. And I went, because I'm a sneaker loser like you guys. I saw that and went, I've only seen that exact print in one place. I know what that is. And then I saw as you guys, I'm like, okay. And then I saw the rest of them. So tell us about the 3 prints. What made you do them? What they're from? I don't know if you can. Maybe you can't.
Yeah. So we did the elephant print.
Punch the mic. Sorry.
The elephant print that's famous from like the Jordan 3. Like we knew that one. Like we've been planning to do that one for a while, but like that one we knew would be like a good one, like a popular one.
Yeah.
So like the Yeezy Turtle Dove was another one we dropped, and it's based off like the Boost 350s, and kind of just like we wanted to do one that was not a Nike head coat or Nike shoe for like the sneakerheads. And then the Galaxy, I'm a diehard like Penny Hardaway fan. So.
Oh yeah.
It's just because like he's like the only player I can ever even remember wearing foam posits.
Drew, do you have the Galaxy foams? Did you get them?
When I was a little kid, I hooped. I put up like 3 a game in those.
And wait, not in the Galaxy. They didn't.
No, I had just standard one.
The blue one.
Yeah.
Did you Sharpie him so you could have the Sharpie like he did?
Drew had like incredible shoe game. Drew rocked like the Spreewell Davas or
spinners.
Yeah. Those were so bad. I mean, at the time they weren't. They were like, you're like, oh, like around here, like, all right, let's be honest. You're like, oh, all the like cool inner city high schools that have shoe deals and whatnot were wearing them, and you're like, yep, I need those. All right.
So with those, like, I mean, the reasoning for like dropping them, I guess, is we just did like a giveaway with Tomo golf shoes, where we were like doing a pair of customs for somebody who like won their drawing for like liking both their brands on Instagram and whatnot. But so what we're trying to do is we're kind of trying to bring like a shoe culture into the shop. That was like our big goal for 2020 till we got kind of stalled. And here is aside from like Malbon in LA, there's nobody that's really like dropping any of the cool golf shoes. And that's almost like based out of the fact that like the companies aren't really working with shops like that. So like the Jordan, like you can't even get anybody to listen to you from those ends. So like we got like Adidas sent us some free shoes like that we painted up like as soon as we got them. And so like a couple of the pairs we've worn like ourselves, but one of the pairs that was like turned out really cool that Drew did was like kind of like a tribute to just like our Muni golf culture. And so we've painted those ones up and we take them around with us like when we do different pop-ups or shows, and we've never like had them for sale, and everybody's always trying to like get them or get a custom pair done. So kind of our idea like moving forward with the shop reopening is that like we're going to do a lot more of like custom like art pieces like that, where we're going to sell them both online and in the shop, but then also do a little bit of like consigning some of the Jordan golf shoes for like people that are like trying to sell those, and then even trying to like
Noted, by the way. Noted. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like basically just like building like it. Just look at our shop and we're like, man, it'd be really cool to have like a midnight drop where like people actually came and stand in line. Like we've tried to tell people like at Nike, like about that, like, you know, just being like, if you drop the golf shoes like at a brick and mortar here in Portland, there'd probably be like 30 dudes lined up out here at midnight, no problem. Like it's because, but they're, I don't know, they're just not open to it yet. So it's just kind of like being like, we're usually on the forefront of whatever we're doing. And that's like, we like did the vintage clothing last year was like a big part of the shop, which was like great. And now it's like getting it into sneakers. And so part of that will be like also like doing head covers for like the sneaker culture.
Yeah, that's going to be an expensive year for me. I just, what? Somehow you turn the Adidas Gazelle into a head cover? Yes, I need that too, of course. Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
So like a lot of it's like, it's crazy. It's going to be a cool year, like with the product drops, because even, I don't know, it's like weird. It's like we're in a really good time with our business and our brand where like, I feel like it's like, there's a lot of positivity out there with it. But we're also at a cool space where like it kind of feels like we're just getting started because like our capabilities of like making things have grown so much in the last year. So it's like even some of the like head cover stuff we have upcoming like in the future for everyone, it's like, you know, it will be like I think it will catch people a little bit off guard because it's even innovative from what we've been doing, like, and artsier. So it's just kind of giving everything that touch. So it's like some of the shoe head covers that we have planned are like a little bit more in depth than like the current ones that we just dropped. Like the current ones like made sense because they're like all over patterns. But so it'll be cool. I know Bill will be excited about some of the shoe ones we're working on.
Oh, look at that.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Where are you guys about in Portland? Are you down like Pearl District? Are you outside of that, or?
We're on Produce Row. We're on the central east side downtown.
Okay.
So,
Right by Burnside Skate Park.
yeah, like right by.
Okay. Have you thought about doing any kind of collaboration with like Voodoo or Powell's or something with a head cover? So I would buy one of those.
I mean, they're so big. Like Voodoo. I mean, I'm sure they have their collabs booked up forever.
Really?
We did a collab.
It's not the right attitude. Come on.
But it's, I mean, I guess it's like, there's just, for us, there's businesses down here in Portland that we want to do collabs with that would be like,
Yeah.
we would spend time like trying to get them, I guess. So it's like we want to do another one with our friends that own Laundry, which is like the vintage like jersey store here in Portland that's pretty popular. So I mean, like working with them, that's like a big one. But right now we're kind of like, I don't know, like the whole golf world is like collaborating like brand to brand, that it's like, I don't know, that it's just like a little bit overdone, I think, right now. So we're kind of, I don't know, we just like feel like we're like, we just did the Mac Miller drop and it feels like all we've been doing is working for like the past like week. So like right now we're just trying to stay in our own lane and just kind of like keep kind of building off of what we're doing.
That's a good point, I think, because right now it seems like I was thinking this earlier and then I'm like, I don't know if I want to touch on it, but what you guys are doing or have been doing, and this isn't new, I guess the shop's new, but like really the culture that is Muni Kids and even Reinland, it's like everybody and their mother's like, yeah, I'm going to start this like streetwear golf brand or this sort of like right. I love it. I got to playing with the lighter again, Chris. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the difference though is that it's like, I feel like the people that are doing that kind of stuff, like the drop shipping stuff, is like it's a bit. they're just going to bounce to the next thing, right?
Well, and everybody is like, we're a golf lifestyle brand. It's like, if I have to hear one more person go, I'm a golf lifestyle brand, it's like, no, you're like, Max, we've had this conversation where it's like, it's a very short trip into being like, you make goofy t-shirts and you're the goofy t-shirt brand. And like, then idiots like me also fall prey into it, where I was like one of our first shows, I'm saying to Chris, I have a huge golf t-shirt problem. I have so many like just blah golf shirt t-shirts, where it used to be like in the old, I mean, you guys know this, I'm sure you were the same way as me. You were like, I'm the weirdo that golfs. I'd like to be able to, instead of wearing like a Nike, Adidas, whatever shirt to school, wear like a Nike golf t-shirt or something golf related. Well, now we've more than gotten our wish. There's a billion of them out there. And so there's so many of those brands where somebody Melbourne, can't take it away from Melbourne. They've created a legit golf lifestyle and culture brand. They've done it. But you guys, because you are staying in your lane, you're not trying to, I think because you're not trying to collaborate with everybody under the sun, and you are doing things that, it's more like you're doing things that you're inspired by, not things that are inspired by other things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's like, I think that kind of goes into like, that was like part of like being able to like print our own clothing, and just like where it's like we can focus on just dropping the projects that we want to drop. And like we're controlling all elements of like the art of it. That I think that's what that's what makes it like a streetwear label or a lifestyle brand versus like a cheesy t-shirt company. Like, and I think it's like over time, like, I mean, like the sad part of it, like the sad part is like, I've known we've always been like cool, like a cool brand. Like I've always thought Kids was like the coolest brand. Like, I mean, I'd be dumb to be doing what I'm doing if I didn't. But it's like, now it's funny, like the shop makes people like view Muni Kids like in a higher light, even like where it just like adds credibility to like how we're
you're not an Instagram brand or some bullshit, right? Like
so it's like there's a lot of them out there, but I think it's like because like our whole angle is like, if it's something that we're going to do for like 30 years or the rest of our life, it's just like it's best to move at like our pace and not like what like, not just be doing things to just be like throwing it out there. So like everything that we drop, it's like it has some kind of like meaning to us. Like it wasn't just to like make money.
I say it's not opportunistic. Yeah. It's because it's you. It's your life.
I mean, part of like building the brand, I mean, like a lot of people don't understand is like, I mean, we like our lives basically took like a certain shape to be able to do this, to like struggle through like the startup times of like trying to be like a golf t-shirt brand. Like, I mean, it's like now I take so much pride in like when everybody that like kind of sees it now, that's like known me full circle of the time, when they're like, damn, like this is like, I can't believe you did this. Cause it's like a lot of people like would look at you like you're crazy when you'd be like, oh, I have a golf lifestyle brand. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's just like, so it's cool. Cause it's like, I think like the beauty of it is it's just like always stayed authentic, where it's like, I think the people who are fans of our brand, they're like fans of these same things that we're fans about. And they know that we're like really into it. Like we're not just doing it for like the quick money of it being like something that's popular, or like, you know what I mean? It's just like we're Mac Miller fans. Like we like cried like the whole day when he died. Like it's just, I think it's just like all that kind of like our customer base at least like gets that from like how we market it. And
I have 2 questions for each of you. I'm going to start with this. Drew, you go first. What is your favorite sneaker of all time?
Oh, dude, that's easy. Just the advanced skate.
Man, I was really hoping it'd be something cooler, like a cool Jordan or something.
No, dude.
All right, let's put the Van Skate aside then.
No, man.
Hey, McEwen, shut up. Your favorite? All right, here, I'll do it back. Let's do this. What's your favorite basketball shoe of all time? It didn't come through. Say again.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Maxton, your favorite?
I'm a retro 4 guy.
What's your favorite colorway?
Probably for me, the military blue, just because like
it's a good one.
I wear blue jeans all the time, so I like that one. But I have a specific spot in my heart too, because like I grew up being a Knicks fan, and I love the Jordan Cavs 4, like the black and the blue joints, like that look like they're Knicks colors, even though it was like signifying when he beat the Cavs. I would have I just like have hella Knicks clothes, like colored clothes. So it's like those ones are my favorites just because they go with all the Knicks stuff.
That's the best. All right. Real quick question. Now this isn't the second question, but I forgot about this earlier. You said you're a big Anthony Hardaway fan. I need you to figure out for one of your shoe inspired head covers how to do the Nike Air Up.
Okay.
The zigzag one, right? Okay. You figure that out. Second question, Max. Max, we'll go to you first. What's your favorite candy?
Ooh. We were just debating cereal earlier today. Actually.
That's coming up in a future show for us. We'll have you back on for that maybe. Because let's be honest, there's still so much. And we talked about this before when we willed you guys into being on the show right after we talked about you. We didn't do the whole like, tell us the backstory. Tell us about why Muni Kids. Like we didn't really go into the generic brand stuff. I'm not saying we also really hit you guys with a hard hitting interview. But we still have, I feel like one day we'll have to cover all that with you. But what's your favorite candy, bro?
My favorite candy, I'm like pretty simple. I'm an M&M's guy.
Chris, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, they're reliable.
Yeah, like it's funny. Like as we maybe it's just me, but as I'm getting older, it just like feels like you eat candy less, or like less. You feel guiltier about eating candy. So I feel like whenever like I've realized in my older age that like when I reach for candy and I gotta pick like the one day a week that I probably eat candy, I always grab M&M's.
Yeah, one day a week. That's it. Yeah, I only do one day a week. Well, and the thing that's nice about, and I agree with. So I will tell you, Chris,
I eat 11 days a week,
dude. I almost eat no. I like for real.
What's your favorite candy?
Reese's. But I mean, like for real. I mean, I probably last time I had
Drew
Reese's was like
eat peanut butter out of the jar by the spoon.
Oh yeah, especially during quarantine here when it's like getting groceries and stuff is tough and you're desperate. You're like, I got a jar of peanut butter, no big deal.
Eat tacos and have sweets. Like that's my.
You could have both. And Drew's like, that's why you look like you and I look like me. So I will say though, M&M's, I'm on that now that I think about it. So Chris has said Reese's, I said Reese's, Drew begrudgingly saying it here, but M&M's, man, it's like you open a bag of M&M's, you have multiple. It takes some time to enjoy. You're onto something with that M&M's one, and I forgot. Like, I love M&M's too.
Have you tried any of the variants? The recent variants of them, are they any good?
I'm super into the white chocolate ones. Are bomb.
All right.
I had like a toffee nut one the other day. Like,
can't you get like a Reese's Pieces M&M now? Isn't there ones that are like basically the same?
But there's they have like there's a caramel M&M now. The caramel filled ones are bomb.
Really? I saw a cookies and cream one that just came out, I think, or something like that.
I'll sign up.
We're on to like right now. Our weird thing is we're on bubble tea.
Really? Yeah.
We're on the bubble tea. We found like, I don't know what it is. It must be like a fruit or something, a taro. It literally tastes like we're eating like cookies and cream, like fruit.
Yeah. Fruit. It tastes it's wild.
No shit.
I need Portland weird to hurry up and get to Chicago, whatever that is. I mean, we pride ourselves on like food from all over the world and being, ahead of that curve. Whatever that is, I need it.
You have to go out to like Humboldt Park or something.
No, I needed it until I had it.
Yeah. You ever tried this?
Fair enough. All right, boys. Well, listen, like I said, I still think there's a lot to cover with you guys, but we've taken up enough of your time. Maybe if you didn't mind this so much, we'll do it again sometime in the near future. We do have something in the works, Father's Day related, with you guys.
Oh, we sent you a spread. We sent you guys a spread.
Yep. And I decided after that last show, I was like, wait, everybody in golf, it's Father's Day gift guide season. And I don't know about how many, let me ask you a question. How many of those do you guys ever click on?
I actively avoid them.
Correct. So I went.
I like it. It's weird. I click on ones that aren't golf.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I went, you know what?
Well, the golf ones are like, here's this shitty polo.
I already have the clubs I like.
Right, yeah. Right.
Oh, no, you can't put clubs on. They're too expensive. So then it's like, hey, the angle of it every year is like, hey, I'm a golfer and I don't want to get like another glove dryer that clips onto your bag. You know, the little hand thing that's like this and you put your glove on it so it airs out. Like, I don't want somebody to give me that. So here's a gift guide for good tips, but it's like, it's the same stuff year in and year out. And I don't begrudge anybody of doing that in this space, but I was like, I got it. My guys at Muni Kids have a whole bunch of stuff that I would love to get if somebody were thinking of me this season. I go, I'm gonna do a Muni Kids Father's Day gift guide. So we're gonna get that out soon and give you a good idea if look, we're not professionals. I don't know how well this show covered what they do. Definitely
do a bunch of cool shit, man. That's what they do.
Right. And we'll show you some of it and you should go buy it because it's awesome. And I like Max and Drew and I like them to be able to eat. So go buy it. Maybe we can get you guys back in the near future and just bullshit about some stuff or get into more history, whatever you want to do. I don't care.
You guys said you want us to sponsor the show.
You do.
We do want you to sponsor.
We want you to sponsor the show
desperately.
As many times as you want.
That's right.
All right, boys.
When we're allowed on planes again, let's go to Portland, like do an on-site, like do a tour and shit. Everyone needs to see what they got going on there.
Dude, though, you guys have never been to Chicago, right?
We want to pop up there.
Yeah, I was in Chicago literally 8 hours and I saw like the most filthy LARPing. Like, where it's just like 800 people came out of nowhere with phones towards it. That's the only time I've been to Chicago.
Oh, so
I've got a good LARPing story next time you guys come on. I'll save it for then, but it's fantastic.
I think you guys would like Chicago a lot, and we're gonna make them come here first. Especially right. When you got Big Daddy Chris McEwen to show you around the city. Trust me, you want to take advantage of that. All right, boys. MuniKids.com, ReilandGolfCo.com, at MuniKids, I think, on most of the things, right? MuniKids Golf. Mm-hmm. That you can tell I did great pre-show research. All right. Actually, guys, not even on purpose. I don't know if you can tell here. You can tell.
Ooh. Yep.
I had to pull headphones out for that, but I had I just realized it as I saw I was wearing a yellow shirt. I'm like, oh, that's one of my Muni Kids shirts. Yeah, I was wearing that all day on accident too. How about that? Look at me. Good show preparation. All right, boys. It's been a pleasure. We'll talk to you.
Sounds good.
Easy.